Hi Varun, welcome.
Hi, Sneha.
Hey, thank you for joining me today, where we talk about founders, entrepreneurs who are out there creating impact while they make returns. Varun, you're the co-founder, not the co-founder, you're the founder of CrowFarm, and CrowFarm is a agri supply chain startup. You also you're special to us at Loomis because you're also the part of our first supply chain labs cohort 2019.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so happy to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you, and so glad to be here. And I have very fond memories of the times that we spent at the supply chain startup cohorts that Loomis did.
Amazing, amazing. Varun, my first question to you is, what prompted you to build CrowFarm?
Sure. So, Sneha, see, before this, I was the chief technology officer of Grofers. So, Grofers, as you might know, is a grocery delivery company. So, it's I would say, a more horizontal kind of company where fruits and vegetables is just a part of the overall offering.
Right.
Now, after spending a year at Grofers and scaling them up all the way from 300 orders to 30,000 orders, so I then spent some time at the farm gate, just to see how things work there, because at Grofers we were procuring from the mandi and then delivering to consumers. So that part of the supply chain was pretty visible.
Right.
But what was not is what is happening behind the scenes.
Hmm.
So then I spent some time at the farm gate, and this involved meeting a lot of friends, and who come from farming background. So their fathers or their grandparents were still living there, still doing agri, growing fruits and vegetables, or growing sugarcane, other agri commodities. So once I spent time there, one of the key realizations, specifically in the context of fruits and vegetables, was key what is being grown and what people expect. There was a huge difference, and just like an information gap, if you will, right?
Hmm.
So from a farmer's perspective, and if I give a simple example, from a farmer's perspective, it's like, if I'm growing cauliflower, the bigger the size, the more the kg, the more value it will fetch. On the
Right.
contrary, if you look at it from a consumer standpoint, typically these days family sizes have gone smaller. So not necessarily a bigger size piece would be right for my family. I would rather want a smaller piece, for example, and I'd be willing to pay more for it.
Hmm.
So this is just one simple example. So just a whole gap in terms of what is being grown, what people expect, a huge, I would say, a huge wastage that happens between the farm gate and the consumer, just by virtue of the fact that this is a perishable commodity, it degrades every hour,
Hmm.
and the longer it takes for the produce to reach to the consumer, the more degradation will happen and the more wastage will happen. And the natural corollary to that is that your prices will become very expensive. Now, if you look at it from a consumer standpoint, the dilemma is, I'm actually going to end up paying more for produce whose quality has gone down. So, these were the set of things which I thought that, are big problems in the supply chain as it exists today. And if we were to solve it, then the impact could be very, very huge.
Right. Wow. Okay, that's amazing because it never hit me. It's simple logic, right? But that's how, when the consumption is much smaller, we never pick up the larger pieces anymore.
Yep.
Um, yeah.
Yep.
So, Varun, as I understand, CrowFarm, your mission is to really make the life of the farmers across the country better, and obviously impact the users in turn.
Yeah.
And I see a whooping of about 10,000 farmers across India have been impacted by this.
Correct.
Can you talk a bit more about that, and how does that, some examples, some stories, if you may?
Yeah, of course. See, we work with farmers across various states. So I would say amongst the more closer states are, Haryana is there, UP is there, Rajasthan is there. These are the more, I would say, belts which serve Delhi all over the course of the year. Then, there are distance belts also. Like for example, belt like Nasik, which is a very popular onion growing belt. So that is another belt which serves Delhi NCR for, I would say, good 8-9 months of the year.
Right.
Overall, the challenges that we see a farmer facing today, Sneha, is that, see, when they grow, right,
Right.
they typically use last year's data, which tells them that how much this commodity is expected to fetch,
Hmm.
and that will decide whether they'll grow that commodity or not, because that will then determine their profit. Now what happens in reality is that these prices change every year,
Hmm.
and a very typical pattern is that, if one year a commodity is fetching really good price, the next year you will find that a lot more farmers will start growing it. The
Right.
natural side effect of that is that the prices will go down, because there is, we are consuming as much only, the
Hmm.
production has been more, so sabke profits will get diminished.
Hmm.
And then, maybe the next year farmers will grow so much that the prices it will fetch will actually go down before the, even below the growing price. And at that point, the following year the farmers will say ki, this time we won't grow because it didn't give any profit last time. So these are, the product growing cycles that we see,
Oh.
and these happen in every commodity. Now the way we have, I would say, addressed some of these challenges is ki we have a good sense of how much we expect to consume in a year or in a season. Like for example, now it's the winter season in Delhi.
Right.
You will see a lot of vegetables spring up. You'll see the methi, sarson, bathua, all of that will come up, peas, carrot. So all of this will become locally available because the temperature is down, and during these times farmers can grow these commodities which they won't be able to grow in summers.
Hmm.
So the way we try to address it is that, ahead of time we do our season planning.
Hmm.
We'll agree on a ballpark price ahead of time with the farmer, so that they know ki, iska agar, if they grow, how much they can expect to earn, whether it'll be a profitable deal or not. So these are some of the things that we do, so that we try to bring more predictability. That's one. And the
Hmm.
other thing also is that we also, our system is very transparent. The price is agreed ahead of time. The moment the goods hit, the farmer gets a notification via WhatsApp and SMS, and that has the details. So much quantity at so much price has been inverted. This is the amount that the company owes you, and this is when it will hit your account. So
Okay.
from a farmer standpoint, it's a very, I would say, it's a very comfortable situation. So that's second. And third is that often on, we also tend to give farmers market guidance on terms of, what commodities we are seeing do better, what commodities we are seeing can fetch higher prices, and they can grow things accordingly. So these are some of the things that, we do, and because of which our farmers, or the ones that work with us, get more predictability into their lives. They can, plan things better, and they can, grow their incomes also.
Hmm. Hmm. And with the digital adoption, I mean, just having a WhatsApp to tell you this is so much, easy for them as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. That's so heartening. Um, Varun, another thing that obviously, it's close to me also, and more and more with time and climate and everything, the whole, sustainability, zero waste. Um, the world is waking up to it. We are very late, but now you can see considerable action being happening everywhere. Um, and just to see Crow Farm having that as one of their mottos, that we have to have um, a zero waste policy. It's amazing. Could you talk a bit about that as well?
So, see, actually, eliminating wastage is, I would say, at the heart of our, um, whole thesis. And by virtue of that, see, we do two things. See, so fundamentally, see, we are a supply chain that's a fast supply chain. So, what we say is that we try to optimize for the time from the harvest to the time it reaches the consumer,
Hmm.
because if you're able to reduce that time, you're able to give better freshness to consumers.
Hmm.
Now, the second side effect of that is that we are able to reduce wastage. And just to give you some numbers, while the conventional supply chain sees 35% odd, 35-40% in wastages, we do actually as little as 3%, sub 3% wastages is what we do. So we
Wow.
have optimized it by like at least 12 times. And even if you compare us with like, any other player out there, we are at least 5 to 6 times better. So
Yeah.
that is what we have been able to do. And this gives us two key leverages. So one is that what we save in wastages, we can pass on that as a price benefit to both the farmer and the consumer. So now what happens is that we eliminated a wasteful expense in the supply chain and gave that off as a price benefit to both parties, and we kept some of it for ourselves also. So that
Right.
is one big thing. And if you look at it from a consumer's perspective, the value proposition is actually multifold, because not only do they get it cheaper,
Hmm.
but they get better quality at a cheaper price. Right? We all know that for better quality you end up paying more. So wo to is pretty standard, and we all do that. But for better quality you pay less. Now that is something. So
Hmm.
that is which is why eliminating wastage is actually very core to our proposition.
That's brilliant. And just to have that as one of your mission and alignment is just what we need at this point. Um, Great. Okay, and now again, I'm curious. As a founder or entrepreneur, you're out there to obviously build a business, grow. What are your thoughts on the fact that impact actually multiplies returns? What do you feel about that? Have you seen that happening? I mean, from hearing what you say, definitely I can feel that's happening, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, very much. So, see, I think, um, obviously businesses by definition are for profit, but I think along with that, there are definitely opportunities for creating impact. And I think, a lot of it has to do with how an entrepreneur decides to run the business. But I think it's certainly possible. In our case, that is something that is again very, I would say, core to our proposition as a company also. And we tell everyone internally that, if you join us, join us not only to, build your career, do something great, but also do something meaningful with your life.
Mm.
That is another thing that we tell everyone. And in our case, what meaning means is that, we are fundamentally reducing wastage in the supply chain. That gives us satisfaction. We are able to improve the lives of farmers. That makes us feel good every day. And then the good feedback that we get from consumers, that also you know makes a positive impact on us every day. And last but not the least is that, so Sneha, we right now are primarily, a supply chain company, and the model that we operate is by the name of OTP, which is it's an end consumer service through a reseller model, or a community leader model as we call it.
Right.
So we also create earning opportunities for community leaders. So that is, I would say, a fourth part to the impact that we are creating. So overall, um, yeah, if you ask me, I think achieving profits and creating impact are both doable. I think that, entrepreneurs should definitely, keep this in mind as they're building their businesses, and see, if that is something that can be made as an overall part of the offering. Because then, every time, and the purpose behind, it gives, I would say, a meaning and a goal and a mission to everyone in the company. So I think that sets the tone of the company apart from just being, let's say, growing very fast, making a lot of money, and so on and so forth. So I think it's a good thing. And last but not the least is that when you look back, you tend to realize that, whatever time you spent or whatever you did, that time was worth it.
Yeah. No, so beautiful. Great, Varun. This was amazing. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And we are rooting for Pro Farm always. So good luck.
Thank you very much, and thank you for that. Your support, has been very instrumental, and we will look forward to that on an ongoing basis as well.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you.